Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that we link with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Before I get into the transfers for today, I've got to talk about that game last night. You know what? I realise how horrible, disgusting, disturbing it must be to be a Tottenham fan. Because last night, I did actually want them to win the game, right? Because then they do us a favour. And what I saw there, the complete bottle jobs, Spursy in full effect, 2-0 up, and then they let, City come back and beat them 4-2 with some horrendous defending. And remember, these are the same Tottenham fans who in the summer were bragging how they won the transfer window. Remember that? Richarlison, no goals this season, none. Right? So this is why we got to look at our guys in Edu and Arteta and say, listen, they're doing a good job right now because, honestly, all of their signings have flopped. Basuma, who I would have loved to have seen at Arsenal, bloody hell. Is he that bad or have they made him that bad? I mean, he was awful. But, yeah, of course, Tottenham doing us no favours and, of course, doing themselves no favours. We got to do our own business anyway. Forget about them. But, wow. To be a Tottenham fan, thank God. You know what I mean? I'm nowhere near a club like that. They are awful. But anyway, listen, let's focus upon us. And the good news is we've made our first signing of the January transfer window, and that is Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard is a Gooner, signed for Arsenal. The deal said to be about a 3-year contract. He's been signed for £21 million, plus add-ons, which will take it up to around about £27 million. This is the new thing now, plus add-ons. I think it's a way of where you put it on the books, it looks a little bit less, and it helps you out with FFP. But yeah, £27 million in total, and he's going to become an Arsenal player in time to play in the game against Manchester United as well. So a great move by Arsenal. I think this signing represents perfect sense. I spoke about it yesterday and I'll repeat it today. He's Premier League ready. He knows the Premier League inside out. He's been in this league for the last 3.5 seasons. So, he should be able to hit the ground running. I think I saw somebody in the comments say, a little bit like when Jota signed for Liverpool from Wolves. He just came straight in and bang. You know what I mean? Now, listen, if he can repeat what Jota did at Liverpool, that'd be fantastic. He was having a great season up until when he fell out with the manager, De Zerbi. And of course, that's going to be a little bit of concern. The fact of the manner in which he left Brighton, that's never good. But I'm sure Arsenal would have done their due diligence on him and found out what his real character's like. Of course, Ben White used to play with him at Brighton, so he should know him as well. And as I said, represents a good signing, can play anywhere across that front three, predominantly on the left-hand side, but also can play as a second striker and can get goals. Not prolific goal scorer, but can get goals. And that is just the sort of signing we need. Even when you think about next week, FA Cup game against Manchester City, under normal circumstances, we know Martinelli's got to start that game. Now we can think about leaving Martinelli out of that and starting with Trossard. And he scored a lot of goals against the big teams as well. Remember that hat-trick at Anfield? That's no mean feat to do that. And he's been playing in a team that's a very progressive team, plays a real sort of similar attacking style to what Arsenal do. So represents a really, really good and shrewd signing by Arsenal. And I say well done to Arsenal for getting that done. But who else is coming in? We've been told that Mikel Arteta would like 2 more signings before the end of the January transfer window. As Mikel Arteta says, we're going to be active, and I'm sure that will be what he'll be saying. But who are those other 2 signings going to be? Still would like to see a midfielder. Will they move for Yuri Tielemans this month? He's still available. We know that his contract is up in the summer. But we'll also make a move for him now, or are they just going to leave it till the summer, or are they interested at all? There's been a talk today that Man United are also another team that sort of joined the fray and are interested in him. Now, it's either they've got the drop-off of Tielemans where they've said, listen, summer, we're in, don't go with anybody else, is tied up? Or could they make a move right before the end of the transfer window when hopefully his price would be like dirt cheap because Leicester then know that they're going to lose him for free at the end? I mean, I do think there could be some sort of last-minute deals at the end of the window. I mean, we're getting towards the end of it now anyway. We've also been linked with Jadon Anthony today. Now, Jadon Anthony is a 23-year-old left winger who plays for Bournemouth. Watched him a few times this season, and he has looked decent. Predominantly, every time I've seen him, he's more or less come on as a sub. Now, he actually used to play for Arsenal. I think he was at Arsenal for over 10 years. Came through the ranks, didn't quite work out, left, and is now at Bournemouth and doing very well. Last year, when Bournemouth were in the Championship, he's one of their key players with 8 goals and 7 assists. This year as well, he's not been having a bad season. Now, his contract is up in June, and there's quite a lot of clubs, hovering around, showing an interest in him. And Arteta is said to be a fan, and they are interested in possibly bringing Anthony, and that is Jadon Anthony, not the Anthony at United, back to the Arsenal. So let's keep an eye on that one. As I said, there are quite a lot of other clubs interested in him. He could also maybe sign a contract at Bournemouth. Again, could this be one of their moves to get the contract up by his agent? We're going to have to wait and see. Arsenal also been linked with another player today, a young player. His name's called Ousmane Diomande. He plays for a team called Side Mafra, a team that's in the Portuguese second division. 19-year-old from the Ivory Coast, and he's a centre-back. Now, don't really know a lot about this kid. It's the first time I'm hearing about him. But a journalist by the name of Bruno Andrani says that Arsenal are interested in him. He's actually a Midtjylland player, a team based in Denmark. He's actually their player, but he's on loan at the moment to this team. And he's been impressing, and quite a lot of teams are taking a look at him, showing a lot of interest at the moment. Sporting Lisbon said to be one of those teams that would like to get his signature. Arsenal also interested as well. A centre-back, but a right-footed centre-back. Do we need another one of those? Saliba hasn't signed a contract yet. Maybe they're on the lookout, just keeping an eye out. Listen, I hope it's not something to do with that. But Arsenal said to be keeping an eye on this player. His contract is up this June as well. So again, he will be available, fairly cheaply. So again, we know that Arsenal are looking out there for young talent, and he's another player that's interested in Arsenal, as is Ivan Fresneda. I've spoken about him quite a few times. Arsenal still interested in the right back from Rio Valladolid, 18 year old right back, and Arsenal still showing an interest in him. There are other teams interested in him as well, but Arsenal said to be right at the front of the queue with that one. Could they make that happen in January, or is this going to be a summer move? We know in the right back area we're quite strong at the moment, but it's all about keeping an eye out for the next big thing. You don't want to be left behind. So let's see what happens. And on right back, Cedric, spoken about this a few times this week, on the verge of joining Fulham. Cedric will be leaving to join Fulham very, very shortly. Now, you know what? I asked you guys yesterday what you guys thought of the signing of Leandro Trossard. Did you think it was a good signing, or do you think it's going to be a good signing for Arsenal? And I thought I'd read out some of the excellent comments that came in, hundreds of them, as usual. First of all, this one here by Absolute Zero. He says, this is what I would call a very shrewd signing. Not a marquee type, but a great addition to the squad. Much like when Liverpool signed Jota. He's the guy who's talking about Jota. Yeah, I love this comment. He said, from Wolves, he can come into the starting 11 and hit the ground running. So he's very happy with him. This guy here, he goes by the name of I am Goon John. He says, I am all for Trossard coming in to reinforce Arsenal's push for the title, but I hope that there won't be an attitude problem, as we've gone over this wave already. But in all fairness, we don't know exactly what happened in the fallout with De Zerbi, as the mainstream media tend to magnify drama. He says 100%, for him because he's Premier League proven, ready to go, versatile player that can create and score. And we need to make the most out of that opportunities that present themselves to us, especially in the January transfer windows, which are hard to seal mid-season unless you hijack them, right? Next comment here from Dale Falls. He says, a very important trait of Trossard is versatility. Great signing. If we could get him for the 25 to 30 million price range, which we have, not a first-team starter, but a regular sub and a cup starter. So that's what he says on Trossard. And Andrew Dawes says, good signing. So long as he's prepared to be a team player and be rotated, he will strengthen our squad. So you can see there that, fans, and I think that reflected, 95% of the fans that commented regarding Trossard. You can see fans are happy with the signing of Trossard, and I am as well. I think it's a very, very positive signing, but who else are we going to get? What about a midfielder? Still think we need a midfielder, and still maybe just an overall player just to strengthen. Maybe a defender? I don't know. Would love to hear your suggestions in the comments, and also let me know who you would like us to go and get in January that is realistic. It's tough in January. As we've seen with Mudryk, it's very, very tough to get the targets you want. You can look at certain players, but if teams don't want to let them go mid-season and are thinking, listen, I'll wait until the summer, what can you do? Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out our excellent super fan debates that we did ahead of the Man United game. Big game coming up at the weekend. Arsenal taking on Manchester United. So make sure you check out all of those previews that we did with United View. They're very entertaining. And looking forward to that game on Sunday. And looking forward to seeing Trossard in an Arsenal shirt. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.